And kind of the overarching advice that I would give myself on all of this, and maybe it applies to some other people, is the concept of patience with your kids. And I know that might sound, fluff on the surface, but the reason I'm saying that is I think sometimes we forget that our kids are kids, and we've been doing things, eating, drinking, grabbing stuff, walking for 30, 40, 50 years. And they are just in their beginning stages of learning how to do that. And I know that that seems obvious, but sometimes my frustration is, my daughters, I mentioned, knock something over or whatever. Now, there's no harm in that. Who cares? Whatever. But I'm like, man, of course we got knocked over a bowl of cereal, or we knocked over whatever, and there's ketchup all over the floor. And it's one thing if my daughter was messing around and purposely doing that, but she doesn't do that. So if she does that, it's because she doesn't have spatial awareness of what's going on. She doesn't realize how close she is to something, knocking something over, whatever. And sometimes I forget that, yeah, she's 5. Like, she's got minimal experience at doing this. And I've got 42 years of experience doing this, and plenty of times where I knock things over and drop stuff and broke stuff even as an adult. But you think about, for us, how efficient and how quickly we can be as adults, from getting ready and getting our clothes on and our shoes on and loading up the car and getting out the door and all that. And all those things that is just muscle memory for us because we do it every day and we're so fast at it. Our kids, even though they're learning and they're getting much better at that, that's a lot for a small person and a young person to process and a young brain to process. And I think it's important for us that we are patient with our kids, and patient because of the understanding of those things, that they're just kids. And think about how many times we forget to do things and we make mistakes. We forget to make an appointment to, go see the dentist, or we, forget something at the grocery store, or we forgot to deposit that check or whatever. And like, we're adults, so we're forgetting those things, and we need to show ourselves grace. We need to show each other grace, and we need to show our children grace, with the understanding that they are just starting to figure all this stuff out. And even though they're walking and they can put their shoes on and they can brush their teeth and they can climb up the slides instead of going down, that doesn't mean that they're capable yet of all the stuff that we think that they should be able to do, and as quickly as they should be able to do it. So that is the lesson that I would give. And correlating with that, the second piece of advice or quote that I have stolen from some other intellectual property today, I think it was Michael Keaton that said this, that said, spend as much time as you can with your kids because you'll never regret it. And that's true. And I think earlier when I was saying about sometimes it's such a slog just to get through the day with kids, you just feel like time is literally moving backwards when you're spending time with them, instead of like, man, can we just get to dinner time, or can we just get to bedtime or whatever? But looking back, I always have good memories of enjoying time with my daughter. And one day that's going to be gone, and pretty soon. And she's 5 now, and we're coming up on Halloween, and we've only got a couple of these left where she's going to want to dress up, and then it's not going to be cool anymore. And you think about that and like, man, she's already 5 and we've only got a couple more of these. And before it's kind of a whatever holiday, Halloween is, I don't even care anymore as an adult. And you still have holidays with Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever, but you've only got a couple of these things. So as we think about spending as much time as possible with our kids now, because we won't regret it. And one day that time's going to be gone, and then the house is going to be awfully quiet.